What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best Hollow Palm Monk build in Path of Exile 2. This build is brand new in 0.3 update, and I promise you it's everything that you ever wanted if you've dreamed about playing a pure martial artist build. So, no clunky weapon swaps, no chasing expensive uniques every 5 levels, and no stressing about the perfect 6-length staff. With this build, your fists are your weapons, and thanks to the Hollow Palm, those arms will hit like a truck. Now let's be upfront, the core of your gameplay revolves around the Storm Wave and the upfeel, for insane map clearing, while Tempest Flurry and the Tempest build will shred bosses and rares with precision combo damage. One thing to note here is that the exact unarmed scaling in POE 2 is still being tested, but even if the run numbers change slightly, the mechanic itself is already crazy strong. I love this build because it solves one of the biggest problems for most players, which is the gear dependency. With the Hollow Palm, you don't need to farm a weapon or even spend much currency. The keystone scales directly off your attributes, your gem levels and your defenses. That means every upgrade you pick up will automatically feed your fists more damage. It's cheap, it's efficient and it's fast. Then second, the setup plays exactly how you want a monk to feel. You're not standing in the back just shooting arrows or waiting for the cooldowns, so you will be constantly moving. And overall, this build clears like lightning fast mapper with huge AoV from the Storm of Wave. But it also has that controlled single target rotations that you need for the big bosses. If you want speed, power and a no weapon build, then you should try this one out. And remember, if you want to check this build, look up the best items, the skill trees and path of building, then check my link in the description. And before we continue, thanks to U4GM. They are a pro website that provides POE2 services like cheap currency, then even to trade all types of quality items and gems and much more. They have also more than 20,000 positive comments on Trustpilot, and this website is really worth a try. So make sure to use my discount code KAID for extra 6% off. So let's take a look at the skill gems, because this is where the Hollow Palm Monk will really shine. The entire identity of this setup is built around the lightning fast unarmed attacks. That means we are blending rapid melee strikes with spell like elemental procs. Your bread and butter here is the Tempest Flurry. This is your main combo skill, the one that you will be constantly using into the enemies. To really push its damage, you will link it with the rapid attacks, lightning attunement and the elemental armament. Then second, we got the Storm of Wave, which is your secondary offensive skill. It gives you a massive AoV nuke that clears screens in seconds, while also boosting your critical potential. Now, we need a way to keep charges flowing and the momentum rolling, and that's where the Lingering Illusion comes in. Paired with the charge profusion, every time you dodge roll, you drop an illusion, and when enemies hit you, you will gain charges. More rolls mean more charges, and those charges are the engine that powers our next skill, the Charge Staff. This skill in exchange will apply shock and innervate by keeping enemies vulnerable to the lightning damage while giving you a steady stream of offensive buffs. It's a perfect loop, so dodge, drop illusions, gain charges, and fuel even more damage. Then for auras, this build takes things to the next level with the Herald of Thunder and with the Herald of Ash. The Herald of Thunder is linked with the Electrocute and the Lightning Attunement, and it basically blankets the entire map with the chain lightnings whenever you get a kill. It's the core reason of why mapping feels so smooth. On top of that, the Herald of Ash will provide hybrid scaling, so crits and overkills will trigger fire burn explosions that amplify clear and even stack on the boss damage. Together, these two heralds will create fireworks of chained explosions every time that you attack. And finally, we've got the Tempest Belt. Think of this as a flexible slot. Sometimes it's an AoV option for spreading more coverage, or sometimes it's your single target combo tool against bosses. So in short, it synergizes beautifully with our Flurry. Next up, let's move over to the passive tree, because this is where we take the Hollow Palm idea and crank it to the max. The general idea is simple. We are investing in dexterity and the energy shield nodes, while stacking attributes that the Hollow Palm converts directly into the raw offensive power, while on top of it also picking up hybrid defenses to keep us alive. Early on, you're focusing on survival and consistency, so pick up dexterity, life and evasion, so that you can push through the acts without issues. Don't worry about the crit too early, as it's a trap. You only want to start speccing into serious crit clusters like Momentum of Truth, or the hard stopping once you're at level 50 or higher, because that's the point where your base damage, attack speed and weaponless scaling will really justify the crit investment. Defensively, the tree makes you tanky in a clever way, so we are investing into a hybrid evasion and energy shield, and Hollow Palm turns those defensive stats into offensive bonuses. Evasion translates into faster attack speed, energy shield turns into the crit chance, so you're literally scaling your damage every time you upgrade your gear. On top of that, the life clusters are scattered along the path to keep you stable during the campaign, and masteries will help around the resistances. Offensively, we lean into the rapid unarmed attacks with devastating crits, and we can achieve this by mainly investing into dexterity nodes, because high dexterity not only feeds your accuracy and evasion, but also synergizes perfectly with the hollow palm scaling. Now let's talk about Ascendancy. The first point that you take is I Am the Thunder, which locks you into the lightning identity of a build, and gives every strike a charge, which pretty much electrifies that scales perfectly with the unarmed combat. From there you move into the Lead Me Through the Grace, by adding fluidity and defensive stacks, so that the build feels agile and responsive, by letting you slip in and out of danger while keeping your momentum. Then the third point is Disother My Enemies, and this is where the damage really spikes, by pushing your strikes into brutal territory, and giving you the kind of offensive punch that melts through both the packs and bosses. And finally, you finish with and scatter them to the winds, which will round out the setup with the extra coverage and utility. Together these nodes will create a lightning fast and shock heavy durable monk. Then for the next one we have the Atlas tree, and here we are focusing on consistency and density. In the 0.3 update, the center of the Atlas will offer a fantastic notables, like essences, harvest, strong boxes and delirium, so you won't invest in them, because these mechanics will provide guaranteed encounters and steady crafting opportunities. On the right side, you want to path towards the strong boxes and the Legion or even Expedition. These nodes will give you even more monsters per map, which is perfect for a fast mapper like the Hollow Palm. Then on top of that, we invest into the bossing nodes. The strategy here is to cluster your investment instead of spreading too thin. So for example, the strong boxes plus the essence is guaranteed value farm every single map, while harvest offers deterministic crafting to steadily upgrade your gear. This approach means that you never rely purely on RNG, you're always making progress. The Atlas tree for the Hollow Palm is not just about farming, it's about building a loop that lets you punch your way to steady currency, while always having access to big bosses when you're ready. Alright, now let's go over to the gear, because while the Hollow Palm does not require a weapon, you still need a strong foundation to scale. The golden rule here is simple. Always cap your elemental resistances at 75%, so fire, cold and lightning all need to be maxed. That's the step 1 before you can think about anything else. Then for the main slots, you're aiming for max life, energy, shield and any type of regen. The most optimized pieces that I like is for the helmet, the Vermeil circlet, then for body, the Val robe, then the belt, the Rawhide belt, then for boots, the bound boots, and for the gloves, the hunting. Then on top of it, get accessories like the Topaz ring, a ruby ring and a stellar amulet. These will give you elemental resistances, life, energy, shield, and most importantly, the attribute scaling. Attributes are crucial because the Hollow Palm directly converts them into damage. Ideally, you want your amulet rolled with a high life, high energy shield, and all resistances capped, and as much as flat attributes as possible. Remember, every point of dexterity and energy shield is damage. Every point of life and evasion and survivability also scales into the damage. So gearing feels extremely rewarding, you're never wasting stats on defenses, because Hollow Palm turns them into offenses too. This is what makes the build cheap and effective as a league starter. You don't need a big DPS weapon, you just need solid rares with life, resistances and attributes. And as you push into the red maps, start upgrading your defenses with the higher bases, but always prioritize attributes because they feed everything else. And now finally, let's see how to actually play this build. Honestly, this is one of the most satisfying gameplay rotations in Path of Exile 2. In the campaign, you level with a bow and a lightning rod until about level 22. It's smooth, it's fast, and it carries you through the early content without any issues. At level 23, you pick up the Hollow Palm notable and swap to the unarmed combat, and this is where the build transforms. From this point and onwards, your mapping rotation is simple but powerful. Roll into a pack, then drop the Storm Wave to wipe the screen, and weave in upfill for the extra damage spread. And let the Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ash explode everything around you. But perhaps if you need more charges, then dodge roll to drop illusions, and let the enemies fuel your charge staff. If you do this combo perfectly, then packs will just evaporate. Against bosses, the things will shift into a more precise rhythm, so you lead with the Tempest Flurry, then stacking rapid crits and shocks, then drop the Tempest Belt for a devastating combo finisher, then keep your charges flowing with illusions. Maintain Herald uptime and stack the Storm Wave hits on top for massive burst windows. But perhaps if the Flurry plus the Bell combo feels uncomfortable, then you can absolutely just stick with the Storm Wave as your main bossing tool until you're more comfortable. So as you can see, our rotation and the build is fun, fast and new player friendly.